Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Welcome, everybody, to the VO B.O.S.S podcast. I'm your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with my beautiful co-host, Gabby Nistico. Hey, Gabby.
Hi, Anne.
Gabby, I am super duper excited today because we have not one, but two special guests with us today. Power couple extraordinaire. We have Sheppard Squared, the Sheppards, Lindsay and Erik Sheppard. Yay! Welcome, guys, to the podcast. Thanks so much for joining us.
And the crowd goes wild.
It does. You know, there's so many questions.
There's so many questions. Let's do a real basic recap for the folks, just so everybody knows exactly who it is we're talking to. So Lindsay and Erik, couple, they have beautiful children, voice actors, voiceover agents. Erik, of course, being the brains and mastermind behind the Unspoken, a very popular YouTube channel that you may have seen. They are activists in our industry, obviously supporters of our industry, educators. I mean, what haven't you guys done?
I know, right?
Am I missing anything?
It's crazy.
Slept.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you guys got into the industry, and let's just go individually. We'll start with Lindsay.
Okay. I went to college for animation too many years ago for the drawing part of it. And I was the only girl in my class, so for all of our student projects, I had to be the one to do the female voices. So I'm like, wait, this is more fun than drawing. I don't have the patience for that. So that's just kind of how I got into it.
And Erik, what about you?
I've been doing this forever. I did my first VO project when I was about 17 for a friend's parents' company. They had a law firm, and they wanted me to do their telephony setup. And they paid me a couple $100, which was like crazy amounts of beer money when you're, kind of a kid. And that was it. I was hooked. And I'm still doing telephony today. So nothing much has changed. I'm boring and...
But I love telephony.
And that's why I
like
you.
it too. I'm boring because he's boring.
So unbelievably humble and played down, the two of them.
I know. Oh my goodness.
So how did you guys meet?
Do you want to tell the story or should I?
Well, it was through the industry. It turned out, we kind of had known each other online a little bit. On Facebook, I was asking her questions like, how do I use this face thing? Because I'm like 1,000. And, this was like way back in the day. Oh, I think the first time I saw you was in one of my mixers. I used to do the voiceover, the New York voiceover mixers.
Oh, yeah.
And she was one of the hundreds of folks that was there, just being like a weirdo wallflower.
He was chasing some blonde around the whole night.
That doesn't really narrow down which evening it was. That was pretty much every night before I met you, my love.
I found out a few months later that he took my business card, and he usually writes like notes on the back about the person that he met. And he wrote on the back of mine, cute. And that was it.
Aww.
Oh my God.
That was the important part.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And then I invited
that.
her. I was invited to some other voiceover thing. I don't remember what we were doing. A bunch of us are meeting up at some bar in New York. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, I'm going to ask that girl. And so I was like, oh, hey, it's all playing it cool and whatever. I'm like, oh, you should come and we'll hang out. And she's like, oh, great. Can I bring my boyfriend? Oh, man, really? Oh, no, she goes, can I bring my friend? And I was like, is she cute? Like being a total jerk, And she's like, well, he's cute. I'm like, God damn it. But she came with him and left with me that night. And the rest is history. We haven't left each other's side since.
Don't tell them that part. I seem
Love
evil.
it.
Seems evil. Can I just talk about branding? The two of you together and individually, I mean, my gosh, like really. Explain a little bit about how you came about your individual brands, and then are you still maintaining that? Do you have your brand together, obviously power couple, but tell us a little bit about your branding and how you came about it.
I think mine, we just sat on the couch and brainstormed ideas. I'm trying to find something that that described my voice. I'm like, well, bubblegum's kind of fun and a little bit sexy and sweet. I'm like, that works. So I stuck with that. It was kind of during the whole food craze, but I stuck with it, and I'm not planning on changing it anytime soon.
She's a Pink fanatic, and then we
Don't
heard
you dare.
the term even bubblegum voice, and it just, that just worked for her. When we kind of clicked on it, just looked at each other like, that's your thing, man. That's it. It's done.
And if you look on Urban Dictionary, bubblegum voice means like an annoying teenage American voice. I'm like, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either.
That's outstanding. Holy cow.
But we just rebranded the agency. You know, we've been Voice Talent
Yes.
Productions forever because I started it as kind of a loose cadre of talent that were helping each other out, and we were doing different things, and then I just stuck with the name, and it was confusing the hell out of people because it's, well, are you a production house? No, we're a talent agency, and whatever. I just didn't want to change it because I said this is going to be a big pain, and it is. It's still a big pain, but we changed it now with a Sheppard agency, but still we had to rebrand that. This is just recent, so we went through, I don't know, about 800 million different fonts and names first, and then different fonts and different logos, stuff that we were going to do, and we go crazy over that kind of stuff, just 8 million
And how many
versions.
different crowns did we look at for King Erik?
That was, I was using other things like stars and whatever, and then it was like an inside joke most between the two of us, like, who else but me would put a crown over my name? Like, I could just hear like millions of eyes rolling in the distance. So it was just too perfect. We had to keep it.
I actually love the brand. I love that brand. And then what about the Outspoken, of course? And I love the fact, number one, that your brands just totally identify who the both of you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, the Outspoken is more me. It's just off the cuff and, a little silly and a little hardcore. And, in retrospect, maybe you could have gone with more of a newsy type of vibe. But, I wanted it to just be, real and laid back. So I went with something, a little rock and roll.
I love it. You have long been like the Anthony Bourdain of voiceovers, so I can't think of a more perfect fit. I think it's
It's so
fantastic.
funny.
It's a great fit.
That's a compliment. Thank you. We're watching him the other night, and Lindsay's like, I don't like him. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, he's like a cool guy. Look, he's right there. We're like Obama. She's like, I don't know, there's just something about him I don't like. So, we probably have a lot in common, the two of us, that way.
And you guys have had, the last couple of years have just been, I mean, I'm tired thinking about it, hearing about it, but I mean, it feels like it had to be a whirlwind. Big move from New York to Austin, Texas, new baby, lots of different shakeups in the industry, lots of things happening there. What has this all been like for you guys? Give us some insights. I mean, because you're holding down both of your businesses independently and together, plus a marriage and a family, and holy cow.
It's kind of like we're in the middle of a marathon right now.
Yeah, it was there was definitely a lot of adjustment, especially with the move. And then the last time we moved, she was like 9 months pregnant, and the guys were moving stuff into the house, and I'm like, babe, just hold it, like, but you just let loose until the rooms are set up, for God's sakes. So that was all pretty insane. But then we kind of figured stuff out and tried our best to figure stuff out with the baby. But, you can't get complacent in this business, and especially nowadays, it's just been absolutely insane with these rapid, changes and problems that we're facing. So, we're on our toes.
I think everyone is, and it's definitely you're right. It's a time in the industry. Not that we ever have much time where we can sit back and rest on our laurels, but now especially, everybody has to hustle. Yeah. And I can't think of two people who do that more than you two on a daily basis. I mean, I know just from working with you guys, being a talent on your roster, you guys are always on top of it. Like crazy amounts of hustle happening in the Sheppard household every day.
I love how, for the industry you guys both are, and how you really kind of stand up to protect the rights of the voice actors. Talk a little bit about how that's been for you guys, especially through your Outspoken videos and through your actions in your agency.
Well, we feel like we have to do something. We can't just do nothing. You know, it's not just for us, it's for future generations too. Like our kids Hunter does voiceover. The baby, I hope she does voiceover too. And we want to protect their future as well.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where, you know, literally we feel that there may not be an industry left. You know, this is going to be something where, you know, hobbyists are doing this.
Or TTS.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
last night,
Yeah.
And the pros are, you know, are just kind of pushed out because they're not going to be able to make a living. And it's happening already. You know, I've been saying that for a while, and folks go, well, you know, yeah, the sky's falling, whatever. Or, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And the bridge is crossed. Winter has come. It's, you know, it's the time now where I'm talking to talent that have been doing this for decades and decades. And they're going, you know, man, I'm living off of my savings right now. So it's, you know, it's really a problem. And we reached out to folks, you know, and said, hey, you know, reached out to the union, reached out to a bunch of people and said, you know, what are we doing about this? And they all kind of said, you know, we're fine. No, we're not fine, man. I'm looking at the numbers right here. You know, we're in trouble. We're all in massive trouble here. And there was this real sense of, nah, we're cool, which was crazy. So I started talking about that a little bit on the Outspoken, and then some other agents were watching that, and then that turned into the VoiceOver Agent Alliance. And, you know, that is where a lot of the work lately has been, you know, has been happening. So as of now, you know, unfortunately, we're some of the only folks that are trying to fight these trends and educate people, fight for proper rates, you know, let clients know, you know, we can't sustain ourselves as an industry any longer if we keep going the way that we're going.
Tell our listeners just a little bit about the Alliance and what it's about, just in case they don't know, or they should know, but talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're a group of talent agents. We're all, you know, operate independently, but we're all together under this banner of the Alliance. And again, these are other agents that feel the same way that I do. And we said, hey, you know what? In a way, we're the gatekeeper. You know, if you want to get quality vetted talent that are you got to go through us. So we're the ones that could kind of put the brakes on here and go, hey, hold on a second. And let's get more agents involved and, you know, other agents that are concerned. What we kind of distilled as the major problem that we're facing is really a lot of unethical behavior. Unethical behavior, especially from the pay-to-plays, unethical behavior from other agents, undercutting from other agents, talent that are just saying, you know, hey, look, man, whatever, $50, I'll take it. It's better than nothing. And just a lot of business practices, which are perhaps put a few dollars in your pocket today, but are destroying any chances of a livelihood you know, come next week. So, you know, again, these are like-minded folks. We all bound ourselves together and all said, hey, you know what? We are going to operate ethically. If you go to the front page of our website, there's the pledge that we've taken. We'll be transparent. We'll let you know where every dollar is going. You know, we're going to operate on the up and up, and we're going to try our damnedest to make sure that everybody else does as well. Because, you know, it's all of our industry. If you got a bad egg out there, if you've got somebody who says, well, I'm not going to operate like that, I'm going to take what I can and just run, well, you know, we got to shine a light on them because they're hurting all of us.
And I love that you guys have never made this a union versus non-union debate or issue, that it's really been about unifying, and it's been about getting everyone together onto the same page to say, look, we have to do something different.
There is a big effect that the union has because, let me put it this way, the line that's drawn between union and non-union talent is a lot fuzzier than it used to be, with the exception of a handful of folks or some very, very, very high-end, you know, Hollywood-type folks. Most union talent are doing non-union work. They don't have a choice, or they just wanted to anyway, or they're FICOR. And there's plenty, which is, you know, one of the bells that we've been ringing the loudest. There's so many clients now that are going non-union because they're seeing how astronomically low talent are you know, accepting rates for non-union projects. And so they're making the whole project go non-union. So if you have talent that are FI-Corps, so they're doing union projects, if you have talent that are union but they're doing non-union stuff, where's the line? It's blurred. You can't really say, well, these are union talent and non-union talent like you could have maybe said, 10 years ago. It's everybody's kind of a talent. We're all in it together.
Well, I think it's really wonderful that you have formed the alliance so that you can evolve along with the industry and the economy. It really is. It's similar to what I remember, when MP3s came on the scene and what it did to the music industry. I mean, honestly, technology with the quick casting and pay-to-plays coming out, I mean, that's really what's changing the industry. And I think that it's great that you are at the forefront of helping to redefine, I think, an evolving industry that is going to be there to stay and to fight for, fair rates. I think that's wonderful.
Well, if anything's happening and I'm not there, I get freaked out. So, wait, what happened? What'd they do? What? God, I was right here. They didn't even call. What?
That's why I'm here, because I tell him everything that's going on. I'm like, oh, did you hear this?
Yeah, she's my eyes in there. It's like, did you see this on Facebook? I got like 4,000 Facebook friends. I don't know. Well, this one's sick, and this one had a baby. I'm like, thank you. She knows what's happening in the world. I know it's happening in like a 3-foot bubble around me.
Outstanding teamwork. I love that, guys. So what's the next couple of years looking like for the Sheppards? What are the goals? What are the plans in action?
I'd like to go on vacation once.
That'd be nice.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
That'd be nice. I haven't gone in like years.
Now, what do you always say? There's no vacations in voiceover.
Yeah, that is true. You know what? At this point, we're really in crisis control mode. So there's a lot of things that, we're working on to hopefully, right this ship and, and stop bringing on water in the entire industry. So it would be nice if we get to a point where, we're sleeping well at night and we go, hey, things are okay. Things are getting back on track. And then, you know what? There's always something. Again, you were saying you can't be complacent in this business. You can't just sit there.
Right.
And then there are changes that happen that you don't even think about, Or you're just taking a shower one day and go, oh, I should start a YouTube channel. Like, oh, you idiot. Now you have something else to do. You're like, you know what we should do? Uh-oh, here we go.
So what will
you
recommend?
You have to stay active and on top and top of mind, with clients. There's so many talent, and they spent just an astronomical amount of time trying to stay top of mind to other talent. Like they market themselves to other voiceover talent.
That's
and they
true.
spend their time, tweeting, I did this job and I did that. And it's all, like, listen, man, they're not hiring you. If you're going to be active and you're going to be busy in a way, that's going to be fruitful for you or beneficial for the industry. Hopefully, I'm doing both of those to some degree.
Amen.
Lindsay, recommendations for talent to survive in this market, in this industry?
Say no more often to the low-paying jobs, to things that just don't feel right. The more you say no, the more powerful you are. Just believe in yourself.
How can our folks get in touch with you? Check out what you guys are up to. Just generally keep up with the Sheppards.
Wow. There, you could go to shepherd.agency. If you're looking to hire talent, you could go to bubblegumvoice.com. If you're looking to hire Lindsay, you can go to YouTube/The Outspoken if you want to see a bunch of nonsense that occasionally makes some sense. Of course, definitely make sure you check out the VO Agent Alliance. That's voagentalliance.com. And then we're all over the socials. I don't know how to like Instagram and Snap whatever. And I'm old, but my child bride does a bunch of that stuff. But I'm on Facebook. So you can find me there.
We should also give a shout out to the Hub also. Have your agents check it out. It's going to be the future.
Yeah, there's a new casting. There's a lot of folks that are working on new platforms to either try to replace or work alongside a voice bank. And we've been talking to these folks at the Hub, and good stuff, man. They've I got a kind of a private tour and became involved with them.
The Voice Casting Hub,
the
right?
full launch, I believe, is December 1st. So
Yep.
check it out. I think it's going places.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're hoping to have them on the podcast very soon as well.
Yes. Well, you guys, it's been so much fun having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for taking time, a little bit of time out of that busy schedule of yours, for joining us.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for having us.
I'd like to give a big thanks to our sponsor, IPDTL, for that quality connection that you hear with all of us together. If you want to find out more, you can go to IPDTL.com.
You sent the link, and we clicked the thing, and it's okay, IPD, and it's up and done.
And we sound great.
This IPDITL, man, I'm
right?
telling you, they got it together.
Our normal three-way is now a four-way. I'm liking
That's
this. I
right.
think
That's
Hello.
right.
It's, Erik now has his harem of ladies. I like this. It's good. It's good.
Please, there's plenty of me to go around.
For all things VO B.O.S.S, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, of course, the YouTube channel, and make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher.
Don't forget to visit us on VOBoss.com for our new university classes and products and other exclusive offers. And you guys have a kick-butt week and stay focused and rock your business like a boss.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Join us next week for another edition of VO B.O.S.S with your hosts, Anne Ganguzza and Gabby Nisterko. All rights reserved. Anne Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.